Hey everybody, what's up? It's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. This is Taylor Swift and Ice Spice getting off of Taylor's private jet and going to the Super Bowl, where Taylor Swift is booed and President Donald Trump was cheered. And she looks very confused as to, oh no, they can't be booing for me. And then she goes and says, wait, what's going on?
What's going on?
Doesn't even know what's going on.
What's going on?
Wait, what's going on? I'm going to tell you what's going on. There are so many legal complaints and lawsuits surrounding Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds. If you don't know, I'm going to recap. Stephanie Jones is suing Justin Baldoni. She is his former publicist. There's also somebody named Jed Wallace, who is now suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for defamation because he's never even met her or talked to her. And he's named in her complaint. She filed a complaint with California for sexual. She also filed one in New York City federally. From my understanding, one of them had been dropped or changed. Justin Baldoni also is suing the New York Times for $250 million for defamation because he was dropped within 24 hours from WME. Last time I checked, people didn't just lose their job based on false allegations. Whatever happened to your civil and constitutional and basic human right to due process? You are presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. He's suing the New York Times for damages, and rightfully so. There's also another one. He is suing for $400 million, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Leslie Sloan. And if you don't know, Taylor Swift has been very good friends with Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, for over 10 years. She is the godmother to 3 of their 4 children, all 3 of their daughters, James, Inez, and Betty. She's even had them in her music videos or has named them in her music videos or her songs, aka her song called Betty. But I'll tell you why people are done. Why Taylor Swift is going to go down in history as the most hated person in the world. Because she can do this. She is currently flying from Nashville to what looks like her house. After having already flown from Burbank, California to New Orleans and to Florida and to Nashville and from Nashville to New Orleans for the Super Bowl and New Orleans back to Nashville. Crazy, right? It's crazy. Why would she be doing that? Is it because she's picking up her friends? She uses her private jet, which costs about $2,600 to $3,000 every time in fuel, jet fuel, to fill it for these itty bitty little trips, and dumps so many tons, metric tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. But she uses this as her plaything. And today alone, three different times her one jet on February 10th, 2025. 3 times it has been airborne. These 2, and it's currently in the air going to what I'm assuming is her house. How unrelatable is that? Most people are not privileged enough in the United States of America to even own a home, let alone several of them. Let alone do they have a brand new car or 2 private jets that they can utilize to just go pick up their friends and just go to the Super Bowl. Let alone can they at this very moment do things like this, utilize their private jet and spend an average of $10,000 a day in jet fuel, dumping all of that CO2 into the atmosphere because they just feel like going to their other house, or they just feel like picking up their friends, their girlfriends, because she wants to look good for mainstream media and for the cameras at the Super Bowl. You know who looked good at the Super Bowl? Anne Hathaway looked good at the Super Bowl. And did I not tell y'all last night? I said, watch, the Eagles are going to win and it's going to be karma. It's going to be freaking hilarious. If you didn't know, Taylor Swift has an entire account where a student from Florida has been publicly tracking all of her jets, Okay, and this person puts them on 24 hours later just for safety reasons, even though a lot of these private small airports, you can't just get into them anyway. They're completely fenced off. And so it's not like this poses a safety or a physical safety risk to anybody. She doesn't want you to know how damaging she is to the climate. And no, buying any of those carbon credits are not going to offset the fact that if you're not in that jet, you're not doing any damage. But if you look at the registration information on her jets, you see that the owner, it says Triangle Real Estate LLC. That likely is the former owner of the jet that Taylor Swift currently owns. It's probably who she bought it from. Or it could have been the person who owned it before that. But then I went to this, and it says, date, February 6th of 2024. It was owned by Triangle Real Estate, LLC. And then it also says SADA, LLC. Well, those are not, even Mercury Acquisitions, LLC. Those are not the 8 different LLCs and businesses that come up for Taylor Swift. So I started doing a lot of research. It said that this was currently the registration on Taylor Swift's jet, and the aircraft was sold on January 30th, 2024. No, what she tried to do was she tried to block a federally legal public information, right? She tried to block her tail number from being able to be tracked, even though that is federally public information. And no, celebrities are not exempt. She chose to become a celebrity, and they worked very hard her entire career to keep and make her a celebrity. You don't get any more privilege than what you already have. Okay, Taylor Swift? She changed the tail number in hopes that she wouldn't be found, but didn't work. So, Taylor Swift's jets. This is very damaging to the atmosphere, to planet Earth. Humans are the only species out of millions and millions of species on planet Earth, in the oceans, on land, in air, that does this kind of damage not only for one species, but all of us, the entire planet. And we do it in the name of advancement, modern age, industrialization, and modernization. But I have a question that everybody should sit and ponder. In your own heart, in your own soul, in your own mind. What good is any technology if it no longer is a tool that we use to help aid us in our everyday life, and it then becomes a hindrance, or it then becomes a time-consuming obstruction? Because this is something that I sit with all the time, that I think about, that I ponder all the time. At what point is technology and advancement going to come to the point where we no longer can go any further? Well, that depends on what your beliefs are, what your opinions and thoughts are. Some people that stand for Elon Musk and are very much fans of his say, oh, well, he's got a 155 IQ. Yeah, there's a lot of people out here in the real world that have an above 130 or a 120 IQ. There's people like that have been college educated, unlike a lot of celebrities, and people out here that have a certified very high IQ, superior IQ. That doesn't make your thoughts and opinions about, as far as technology and advancement for the human race, the correct way to go. Nor does it mean that your ideas for the future and technology are the best. Because this is when I would argue that people need to take a step back and really start looking at everybody's own individual actions and choices. When you when you deliberately choose to get on a jet and utilize it 3 times in one day, for your own whims, and you're doing everything with your PR machine in the mainstream media to try to block people from knowing that information. Who are you really? What kind of person are you really? because I know no good people that do this or live this way.